my suckies, it's JuzzyQ7 here, bringing you another video. I hope you're having a great morning and not being forced to eat vegetables for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, as no one likes vegetables. If you are being forced to eat vegetables, message me down below. I will respond, I will come to your house, and I will save you from being force-fed vegetables. Even if you're currently not at your house and you're being force-fed vegetables at your grandma's house, because grandmas for some reason really like to serve vegetables, then I will still come to your house and I will save you. Anyway, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the cruel and grueling things that my family made me do as a child when I was eating at the dinner table. You've all been there. I'm sure when you were younger that there was one meal that you just really did not want to eat. Your mum's pulled it out. She's put her heart and soul into it. Thanks, mum, for making the meal. Anyway, she put her heart and soul into making whatever you're going to be eating for that day. And you're just like, no, no, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to eat this. I'm fussy eater. I ain't want this. This is not going to be in my life. So my family had some pretty good ways with dealing with this. When I say pretty good, I mean pretty torturous for a child, but it did work nevertheless, and I have changed from it. So sit back and relax, and I'll take you through the story from the beginning. So when I was younger, I would not eat much at all. So much so that the only things I would eat were mostly consisting of dairy and wheat products, such as Wheat Bix and spaghetti and, all those basic stuff. So this was about when I was 3 or so. So my mum was like, oh yeah, this is all fine. And one day she decided, alright, I'm gonna take him to the doctor. He ain't looking so sweet. Like I was a sicky looking kid. I was pale as anything, not really putting on weight. I was vomiting all the time. This is like 3. I remember being on my mum's bed one time, just chatting with her after eating a bowl of Wheat Bix cereal and being like, oh, I don't feel so good. And throwing up all over the bed in the morning. And my mum just being super disappointed, but like super understanding about what happened. So anyway, when I was younger, Mum was like, "All right, I'll take you to the doctor. We need to get this sorted out pronto, ASAP. Get this somewhat eating disorder out the way and find out why he was sick." So I was taken to the doctor, and they found and diagnosed that I had a sickness to wheat and dairy. So I could not eat wheat and dairy products at all. Like it would just make me super sick, and it was not good for me. So having found out that I was lactose intolerant and I couldn't eat any grains or wheat or whatever, Mum was like, "All right, let's come up with something else. Let's give him some other food." So that was a tricky one. I didn't eat anything at all. I remember like one time being like, "Okay, all I feel like eating is chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets from KFC." So seeing my mum like because the situation she was in, I could have died. So she took me down all the way to KFC from where we were, and that was like a good hour's drive past traffic and everything at the time. So she went out of her way to give me KFC. Um, that was not a good thing, and my mum saw it and she was like, "Well, we've got to get this child moving. He needs to eat stuff. We'll start not really force feeding, but feeding him in a way that he'll have to eat his food at dinner table, otherwise he can't leave." So I remember after the whole KFC incident, my parents sat me down at the table, with a bowl of like tuna food, and I would not eat it. I would just look at that tuna food, and my mum was watching me and was like, "Son, this is for your health. You're gonna have to eat this." And I wanted none of that. I just sat there and I just looked at that tuna and I just did not eat it. I looked at it for like maybe 4 hours. I remember just waiting there at like 12 o'clock at night, super late for a child, and I just didn't eat it. And every time I started walking away or like asking for a glass of water to fill up my belly, Mum was like, "That's not happening. You're gonna have to eat this." And so I sat there and I did end up eating a little bit, but like nothing at all. It was awful. Just a side note, by the way, I still do not like eating tuna to this day. I find it kind of repulsive. I don't know why. I think it's still a mental link from when I was a child, but I'll eat pretty much everything else now because of what my parents did and made me sit down and eat everything of my dinner, otherwise I wouldn't leave. So obviously after the whole tuna incident, them seeing me not really do anything, they were like, "All right, let's develop some new strategies. Let's come up with some new tactics, some CS:GO one-on-one battle tactics where we can like fire this boy up and to get it eating his food." So eating my veggies for one thing, I did not like them. Like as I said at the start of the video, I was like, "Oh yeah, no one likes their veggies." Well, I'm okay with them now, but then I hated them. So what my dad came up with was something almost ingenious. He decided to start pretending that there were little possums, little koalas in the food. For instance, here comes the airplane and you go, "Meow," and then you fly it into the baby's mouth. Well, he came up with, "Hey, look, Justin, do you see there? Yeah, look closer at that little broccoli piece. Oh, do you see what's on there? That's a possum. You should, what are you gonna do with that possum, buddy?" And he's like, "Oi, oi, oi, you can eat him quick." And then he made this sound effect, and it was just like a ginormous like eating sound effect, like home kind of thing. And then he just like made sound effects that the koala was or possum in there was dying. And I don't know why I liked this as a kid, but I thought it was hysterical. I just burst out laughing. And then he always used to point out like koalas in my food, and from then on I just started eating all of these things because he was just like, Look, you've got a possum in there. You gonna finish that, boy?" So that was the first strange thing that my parents did with me eating. It helped me a lot as a kid. I honestly can't be thankful enough of those strategies, and I will be using them myself when I'm older. If I have kids, probably not at this point in time. I have no one I'm interested in, and I'm not even that old yet. I just graduated from school. We're just getting out into the real world now. Just having some fun, just, going out, the usual at this age. But the next thing they started doing was maybe when I was about, I don't know, 8, 7, around there, they decided to come up with a new method. But this time it was for me being a messy eater and also my two sisters being messy eaters. So what they decided to do was they came up with this amazing strategy that was flawless. They said, whoever spills at the dinner table will have to wear this baby bib. So they whipped out this baby bib that like was on one of my sister's Barbie dolls, not Barbie dolls, little baby born things. Whatever you get when you're like a little girl. So he whipped out this little baby born bib, and he was like, "Whoever spills at this table will have to wear this bib until the next person spills." And I remember it being passed around, like, from my sister to me, to my other sister, back to me. It went around the table, even including my dad. But the most memorable time was when the bib was passed down to my mum for the most hysterical thing she has ever done. So one day we were sitting at the table, ready to eat our dinner. There were vegetables, of course, and a bunch of other things that I can't remember because they don't matter to this story. Amongst the vegetables, there was a cherry tomato, uh, homegrown cherry tomato from our garden that my mum put all her hard effort and labor into, and she bit down into this cherry. And a little fun fact about these cherry tomatoes, they are like little detonating mines. You don't know when they're gonna explode, but they do. So what happened was my mum was sitting there, and she was casually eating her dinner, and she put a cherry tomato in her mouth and slightly bit it, and it sprayed across the entire table, like squirting everywhere. Everyone had this cherry tomato on them, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, especially because of this bib rule. She had to wear this bib. Um, it only lasted for 2 days with my mum wearing this bib, because after that point in time, we'd be doing it for like 2 or 3 months. It wasn't heaps long, but it was long enough to teach us not to spill anything. 2 or 3 months later, so anyway, what she did was she put the bib in the washing machine, and we never saw it again. And I always was like, "Oh, mum still has to wear the bib." And then my dad was like, "Oh, no, it's still in the washing machine." And we eventually forgot about it. So they were the weird things that happened at my table at in my household when I was younger. If you've got any interesting weird traditions or family things that you do at the dinner table, then feel free to drop them down in the comment section. I'm interested to read them. It'll be a bit of fun. All that jazz. Thanks for watching so much. If you liked my video, just flick me a thumbs up and a happy comment. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I really appreciate you and thank you so much. Special shout out, by the way, to Asuix underscore and SirPrawnAlot. Asuix is helping me with my music at the end titles, and SirPrawnAlot is just an awesome guy with an awesome YouTube channel. You should check both of their YouTube channels out below in the description. Catch you later.